Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Well, the big news is that Senate has indeed passed the Electoral Bill 2026. And so that's what we'll be looking at this morning. There are quite a number of issues. Now we have, I think the National Assembly is now going to have to come together to harmonize whatever the differences are. But right now, before this news, we had been saying that the Senate seemed to be taking its time, and everybody was concerned that if we're not careful, this is going to, cause problems in terms of the timetable that INEC, has to prepare and notify the country that indeed elections are up. But happily, we hear that instead of the 12 months leeway that was required before, by these amendments now, for instance, that has been reduced to 6 months. But we'll be joined by Barrister Akingbolu, Mr. Kabir Akingbolu, constitutional lawyer, our friend, and we'll be looking at this together. Are you online yet? Because he'll be joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Barrister Akingbolu. Not there yet. Okay, let's look at the package to sort of refresh everybody's memory as to where we are now.
After nearly 3 hours of intense deliberations, the Senate passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, signaling another major step in Nigeria's electoral reform process. One of the key provisions retained is the electronic transmission of election results, with the law reaffirming the powers of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to transmit results, including the total number of accredited voters and ballot outcomes, in a manner prescribed by the Commission.
This Senate, under my watch, has not rejected electronic transmission of results. It's in my interest as a participant in the next election for such to be done. So please don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the crowd. We have retained what was in the previous provision. That's all we did. So if we rejected what was proposed by way of amendment and said let's retain what was in the previous provision, the previous provision had made allowance, had made provision for electronic transmission. So it is still there as part of our laws.
The Senate, however, disapproved the replacement of lost permanent voter cards through downloadable alternatives, citing concerns over the integrity of the process. On electoral offences, lawmakers increased the penalty for buying or selling voter cards to a fine of 5 million naira or 2-year jail term, but removed the proposed 10-year ban on participation in elections for convicted offenders. The amendment also shortens the electoral calendar. Notice of election is reduced from 360 to 180 days, while political parties must submit their list of candidates to INEC at least 90 days before elections, down from 180 days. Publication of nomination details is also reduced from 150 to 60 days, and INEC is now required to invite political parties to inspect voters' registers within 20 days. Following the passage of the bill, the Senate set up a conference committee to harmonize the legislation, to be chaired by Senator Tahir Mungunu.
So the membership of the conference committee that will work assiduously to bring this back for us to give to Mr. President so that within this month we can commence the process of procurement after the president's signature and after the two chambers have okayed the harmonized version after the conference committee. For the Senate conference committee, we have the Senator Mohammed Taid Mongudu as chairman.
The Senate has clarified that there was no deliberate attempt to delay the passage of the Electoral Act, insisting that the extended legislative process was driven by the need to carry out a thorough and inclusive review. Lawmakers say the goal was to ensure that the final document adequately reflects the yearnings and democratic aspirations of Nigerians while strengthening the credibility of the electoral process. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so there we have it, a brief summary of what took some say 5 hours of robust, debate, and some, as our report said, more than 3 hours. So let's look at the matter. And as I was saying, constitutional lawyer Kabir Akingbolu is our guest this morning. He's joining us remotely via Zoom. Good morning to you, Mr. Akingbolu. Okay, we're still working on that, it would appear, but he is scheduled to join us. In fact, I hear that you just answered, but that we can't hear. At least I can't hear. Yes, now I can, Mr. Akingbolu. Good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning, sir.
So thank you very much for coming on.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Now, the complaint before now, if that is the word to use, was that this thing was taking too long. It should have been done ages ago. But now the Senate has indeed now passed. So there's a lot that's going on around that section 60. But give me your thoughts, the overview. What are your thoughts on the work that has been done now and the result that Senate has now sort of put out there in the public?
Well, the problem is this, there's always the distrust between the people and the Senate, and the politician, let me put it, because the people see the Senate or the National Assembly as a kind of rubber stamp assembly who does the bidding of the executives, and because of this, they seem not to trust anything that has been done there, especially given the fact that some of the laws made by them at times are found to be duplicated, like the allegation against the tax law that they have tinkered with the original and so on and so forth. Yes. So the public will not be so sure now, except after some time. There are no issues about doctoring, about manipulation, about alteration, and all that. And they see the effect of the full text of the law. Because now you can no longer say or know what is sure again. This is just the situation of things, the way I see it. But then, on the face of it, we say kudos to them for at least doing what people expect them to do, even though it is very late.
Okay.
But rather late than never. Better late than never.
Okay, indeed. As you said, that's your impression. The Senate probably won't be happy about that, because you even heard the Senate president there, sort of second guessing that if that was what people were saying, that it's not that they intentionally wanted to cause a delay, but that all of this was coming from the fact that they wanted to take a very thorough look at the bill and know that they met with the people's yearnings and aspirations. So said Senate President Akpabio, as you know. And then of course, I've been looking at some reviews, and not everybody is happy. The opposition, especially opposition, PDP, ADC. They, for instance, and this is one of those under the Section 60 thing that I was talking about, they in particular have been unhappy about the fact that there won't be live transmission of results. I emphasize the word live because that is a word that was said to be open to all sorts of conjecture. In fact, I think Senator Adara Modu was even saying that this is in the area of semantics, that it can't, it's a risky thing to want to try. And so rather than that, they would upload, as the law provides for, to, IREF, they would upload, but not necessarily live, meaning immediately as it is happening. Instead of that, they would have documentary evidence. The records would have been taken on a recommended special form, and that would be there by way of evidence. And then later on, subsequently, the results will be uploaded, perhaps when there is data and when it is sure that the right thing, the thing can be done smoothly. What are your thoughts about this particular aspect and the explanation that was given by the Senate that you can't really do live at this stage of the development of our data transmission in this country? There are too many areas of the country, it is thought, that don't have, appreciable data, bandwidth, and that kind of a thing. So,
are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Mr. Akingbolu, what are your thoughts of that explanation by the Senate?
Yeah, I quite agree with them. But however you do, whatever your enemy, however better your enemy is good at dancing, you will always see a kind of a mistake from him.
Yes,
Just like Senator Adamodu has said, it's a good one. You don't leave things to guesses. You understand? I think the Senate has done something here. They have tried to prove to the Nigerians that, come, we want good elections to take place. We don't want manipulated elections. We have no hands in manipulation of elections, and we want INEC to succeed. This is just what they have done. And I think we must give them kudos, despite the fact that many of them are coming back. You understand? They are not doing the issue of myself first. They take Nigeria first. The way they have passed the law, I think they have done well. Like Senator Adamodu, did. He has explained certain things that are not clear to Nigeria as the spokesperson of the Senate, and we must commend him for that, at least to let Nigerians know the feelings and the objectives or what the Senate even actually want to achieve. Okay. And for the oppositions, they will always sing that song. We should understand what it is. It is not easy to be outside. However, this law, let us see how it pans out. The Senate should also try to ensure that having passed the law, the lacunas should not be too much, and let us leave the rest to the court for court to interpret. Because according to realist school of thought, law is what the judges say from the bench. We know what happened with the issue of card reader. We know what happened to the issue of bimodal transmission of results and so on and so forth. But now we are testing another thing. Let it be that we succeed. But the live broadcast, again, I don't see how that one may be possible at
the live transmission.
Because in some reports, the live transmission it may not be possible.
Exactly.
Now, when you talk of live transmission, at what level? That's the question we must be asking. Indeed. Because by the result of senatorial elections should be announced within the senatorial district. The one of House of Rep should be announced within the House of Rep district, constituency. The same thing for House of Assembly. Now, if you say there should be live transmission, are you saying there will be television or radio or satellite in each local government? Given the fact that we are in blackout in Nigeria, our power system is still very poor and at the lowest level, and it's not, it's not in any time soon going to improve. Now, if you say there will be live transmission, if there is no live transmission, what is the consequence? What is the effect? What should people expect? Because I think that law, we should look at it very well. It's very delicate in the sense that we may not be able to achieve it. And the law is, you don't see any law that seeks the performance of impossibility can only be obeyed in disobedience. Because live transmission, where is the power? Have you bought televisions for INET? Have you bought them generators and some other things like that? These are the questions we should be asking.
Indeed. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Akingbolu. I beg your pardon. The sound was beginning to deteriorate a bit. We're going to come back to you. But Mr. George has come on the line since then, and thank you for holding on. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Yeah, please
go ahead. Good morning
to
the guests. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Uncle Yori, I do not agree with these narratives that people are carrying about of manipulation. They did it with the tax laws. And they're doing it with this one again. I have been watching. No person has been able to bring up a a particular clause that was manipulated or changed amidst all the allegations. They are just saying what they like that they cannot prove. And that lawyer that is speaking, let him, he's also an observer, let him point out anything that anybody has brought out from the tax laws that we are alleging has been changed or manipulated. And this electoral law is one clause. It's not in the public space. So it's just a narrative to bring down a system. What I think the Senate did on the aspect of electronic transmission is right. Uncle Yori, we borrowed this presidential system from America. As we speak today, 2026, America is 250-something years old in democracy. They still do this electronic voting side by side with paperwork.
Exactly,
So
which is what Senate has said we shall be adopting. This exactly.
Yes, and some people want us to jump, and the reason why they are doing that is what we saw them do in 2023. I am aware, Uncle Yori, that if from 3 countries outside Nigeria, some Nigerians were, banging on INEC website to hack it and rig the election.
That's right.
And they think they can try it again this time around. That's why they're insisting on real-time. What is the meaning of real-time electronic transmission?
Okay, thank you, Mr. George. Mr. Akingbolu wants to add to the conversation. Thank you very much, Mr. George. Appreciate your calling in. Mr. Akingbolu, you wanted to add something. You wanted to interject, but I just wanted him to land so we know where he is. Go ahead now, Mr. Akingbolu.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is this, that the power situation in Nigeria is not so encouraging. And if you are insisting on live broadcast, it may be impossible. And again, let us
get the terminology correct. I think real-time uploading, meaning as it is happening, it is being uploaded. And I think the difference, the adjustment that Senate made was that let INEC at the appropriate time tell us, the best means of their uploading this matter. Let us not by law make it real time.
You see, I agree. You understand? If they should make it like that, it means you have not given INEC any discretion. Because you see, these things are administrative things. If the law is so static, it may be difficult for INEC to carry out some of these things. That's exactly what I was trying to say. And thank God you are also, reasoning along that line. But it's a good law that we must praise and we must welcome it. But in every election year, we always experiment. I think we can go past this one day. Every time when the election is coming, we make a new law, we make a new experiment. At the end of the day, it has not really favored us. Let us hope this one will be good this time around, but they should not make it a stereotype thing so that we will not hit a brick wall. In the event that it's not being uploaded or they cannot upload, what is the consequence? What are we going to do? What is the option open to INEC? Like the issue of in the issue of card reader, they said where it fails, there are steps to be taken. You will register something, you put down your name, they will take inventory and all that. Those are secondary or option B. What is the option left for INEC, or are they going to suspend the election or postpone it?
That was part of their reasoning. INEC needed to be left some options according to, I believe it was Senator Adara Modu that I was listening to. Mr. Joshua, good morning, calling in from Irewolide. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and good morning to your guests.
Yes, thank you.
I'm extremely happy. In fact, when you were on holiday, there was a time I wanted to call you to ask for your intervention because through your platform, messages could get to the Senate on this issue of amendment of real live transmission of
or real-time uploading.
I was going to plead with you that they should not attempt to do that. If they attempt that, they are going to put our nation in jeopardy. They are going to end Nigeria. Because these guys abroad, they are targeting to use that opportunity to put the nation in confusion. The moment you say elections should be transmitted, results live,
it should be uploaded
now
in real time.
They are going to misinform the public that is the actual voting, right? So you are going to now have social media election. They will be announcing election results on social media. So these people, they have just escaped helped Nigeria to escape
to dodge a bullet.
Big confusion, and I commend them for that courage. The existing law that says INEC should do the needful and they see what the situation is on ground is adequate, is okay, right? We don't look at how we struggle with our network in Nigeria. It's not anybody's fault. Our network infrastructure cannot support anything live. The ordinary glitch the other time, they used it to discredit the election and said the election was not properly conducted. So it is actually good, and please, your platform should reach out to these people that they should stand their ground, that this provision, which is the one that says INEC should use what is needed, what is available.
Yes.
Joint paperwork with live as it were. That should be what should be acceptable for our election.
Okay.
Please, nothing else for now.
All right,
when we perfect our electricity and others, then we can move to technology.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua, for calling in. So as the Senate President was, pointing out that it's gone out that they have rejected electronic transmission, but he was saying that is false. It is not so that what they did reject is what we're talking about now, that you can't talk about real time. And I think that's where Senator Daramodu came in with matters of semantics, it's a matter of language. Let INEC, give INEC some leeway, give them options. INEC, according to the senator, INEC will tell us and determine and will action what is feasible. But in any case, there would be hard copy evidence of forms, on the prescribed forms, that would have been signed by all parties concerned, either the candidate himself or herself or their agents. So that would be there as we say locally here, koro evidence. And the uploading will come subsequently. Mr. Akingbolu, I think you are in agreement with that, if I understood your point of view. You're in agreement with that.
That's my point. That's my point. Good law is a law that is made with a kind of foolproof that cannot fail. It cannot fail where there is a leeway that will still serve the purpose where the main objective fails or where the main procedure, is not working. There must be a foolproof system. The system must not just be stereotyped and hard as a rock and as hard as a rock. No, if it's like that, then you apply a landmine for INEC. And it's either it's someone seat or it fails. But with the way they have done it, giving some leeway to INEC, I think it's a fantastic one. We must commend the Senate and give them a round of applause.
Okay. Then the other issue that was that generated a lot of discussion was in view of the lateness, the perceived lateness of the Senate, and the Senate has said that which you are perceiving as lateness is a matter of our wanting to be thorough. So they don't accept that they were unduly late. The calendar that INEC has to, publish, that INEC has been helped along, haven't they, by the reduction of the leeway from 360 days before the election. So we're talking about February to February. They are now reducing that whole thing to 6 months before. 6 months instead of 1 year before. So this again is going to be favorable to INEC, isn't it?
Yes, it is going to be favorable to them. It will give them a ample time. The time is not too short, it's not too high, it's not too long. And I think it is fine. It is also a fantastic provision. However, when people just want to criticize for nothing, I know very well lawmaking process is not a tea party. It's a long process. So if they are coming up with a document now, we should not condemn it. Despite the fact that we have been expecting it for too long, the fact that they are coming up with it now is not a way for us to criticize them. You said do it, and they have done it. Why are we still criticizing them? We must commend them rather, except where we see some flaws in the law, we can complain. But if there is no flaw there, you understand, let us at least commend them and believe they have done the best for the country in the circumstances, because normally, if they want to do some abracadabra, they will not pass it now. They will pass it until after 2027 election will be when they will be passing it. But to show the country that, well, we only want the best for the country. We are only interested in democracy to thrive, and we don't want any incursion into our democratic experiment and the like. They have passed the law. We must give them kudos. That is my position.
Okay. At that point, we'll just take a quick break. Do please stay with us. We'll be right back to continue this conversation.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Across continents, Nigerians are making their mark, building businesses, shaping landscape, creating impact, carrying the green-white green with pride. But beyond these success stories lies one powerful truth. We are stronger when we connect. Join us on Diaspora Connect, a program that bridges the gap between Nigerians abroad and opportunities back home. Each episode showcases the inspiring journeys of grass to grace and the resilient spirit in the diaspora. From entrepreneurs driving change to professionals investing in the nation's future. Don't miss the program every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. on TVC News. Together, we're building bridges that strengthen our identity, our economy, our nation.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines to Pidgin.
Better country people, on a good evening.
Yoruba,
Ekaro, Ekudede Asikoyi, Shedadalabayi,
Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, suna na Raki Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you, faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Okay, welcome back. And we've been looking at some of the work that's been done on the amendment of the electoral bill. We've spoken about, we've spoken about especially this whole matter of uploading in real time or not. And it's decided that given the current state of our infrastructure, internet infrastructure, not. INEC would do the right thing according to the facilities that are available to them, but that in the presence of the candidate and their agents or their agents, if not both, they would be recorded, and these things would be, that would be the hard copy evidence, which can then be uploaded as INEC sees fit. Then the other matter is electoral malpractices. In order to deter these, the fine for the unlawful possession of voters' cards, this was increased from 500,000 to 5 million naira. And the recommendation for a ban of a proposal for a 10-year ban on vote buyers from contesting elections, they thought that was too harsh. It wasn't necessary, and so they decided that instead, let them just keep it at where it was before, but that increased the fine from 500,000 to 5 million naira. And by the way, the smart card reader has been officially removed from the electoral framework. Barrister Akingbolu, what do you see about these provisions?
Yes, I think it is congenial with common sense and practicability that the issue of banning somebody for 10 years, that is too draconian, is too much of an for me. The fine of 5 million is just unfair. However, I think they should have, yes, it's upon conviction. So I think it's a good one. However, the mode of of doing this is another thing. Now, if it's not just fine is not enough anyway. If you are going to fine, yes, 5 million, I think it should be plus imprisonment or with some punishment that maybe you are banned for one election season. That is still very important, at least, because if it's a matter of money, some people 5 million is just like 1 naira to some people, especially the politicians. You understand? So they can afford to commit the offense and pay. So we should look at it from that angle. It's not just paying money. And again, the mechanisms towards punishing these people, what are the mechanisms and how is it done? I have been appointed by INEC before to prosecute electoral offenders. But the problem is that there are no record of the offense. Immediately you arrest them at the police station, their political godfather goes there to bail them out. In fact, most of the time, the offenses are not incidented in the police diary. So how do you continue from there to say, electoral offender? And will you pick somebody from the polling unit and take him to court directly? Police must still do some work there. Civil defense must still do some work there. SSS must still do some work there.
Okay.
And in an election, the kind of election we run in Nigeria, it is porous. So I think the Senate ought to have looked at this angle very well. Not just making law. How do you obey it? Or how do you enforce compliance?
Okay.
It is very important.
Okay. Reverend Dominic, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for holding on. Go ahead now.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yori.
Good morning.
Happy New Year from the Faith Dot.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
Yeah. Yori, I think when we are making law, we're making law to correct maybe past defect. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think we're making law to correct our past error. Yori, there's something I observed personally the last election. That when a party A has advantage in a particular place, the party that don't have advantage send voice to frustrate people who want to vote maybe party A or party B. That was so clear in the last election. I personally was frustrated to vote because some people see that I'm able. I'm going to vote Obi. And if everybody who knows me know I'm active party APC since 2014-15. But I was frustrated not to vote. I reported it very well. I thought we could make electoral phase more serious this time. If we have peaceful elections, transmission or not transmission will not make sense. If we have peaceful elections, if everybody vote the person you want to vote and the vote counts, transmission will not be a big issue. Why people are talking about transmission every time is that you may vote 10 people and somebody transmit tomorrow 20 people the other side. But if there's real voting, nobody frustrates anybody, nobody fights anybody, nobody hurts anybody to vote. Transmission is nothing altogether. What we need is to force electoral offenses. This kind of 5 million doesn't make sense. We can make vote buying imprisonment, even when 6 months compulsory. So we can deny it. But one thing we must do to have smooth election is to force our laws. And whether you keep up on election day or other day, murder is murder. We should treat murder as murder, not electoral offensive. We should treat beating, abuse as abuse, not electoral offensive, no matter how the day you commit it. The state have done well, but we must look that place of enforcement of our laws so that people can go out and vote the person they choose or they thought is the best, candidate in during the election without coercion. That's my contribution. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic, for calling in. Barrister Akingbolu, when you look at it, I've noticed that they also, they dealt with wide-ranging areas of the bill, and this one caught my attention, the use of PVC and BVAS-based accreditation. This has been reaffirmed, but they have rejected efforts to expand alternative digital voter identification and make electronic transmission results compulsory. They rejected those ones.
Yeah, well, you see, if Rome was not built in a day, I think it's a process within a process. We might not have gotten to the promised land, but to me, we are no longer in Egypt. So at least this one they have done. Let us give them kudos for it. This one they have done. Let us praise them for it. This one they have done. Let us appreciate it in the hope that they will do better. Do you understand? The whole thing is an experimental journey. We are still doing trial and error. American democracy was not built in a day, so we are not where we were yesterday. We are not where we were in 1999, in 2007, in 2011, 2015. Now we are moving forward, at least with better digital, technology. So, but I want to think that they should go further to look at these areas very well, because electronic transmission of results is congenial with modern technology and modern democracy. So we shouldn't find it, difficult, though it is not practicable for me. Speaking for myself, it is not practicable for now because of the epileptic power supply in the country. So these are the things we have to look at. So anybody who wants to blame the Senate should also consider that one. I think the Senate, they are doing us good, as far as I'm concerned. Because if you make electronic transmission of results compulsory now, and there are no wherewithal to do it, to achieve this, then you have made sure that you have planned the failure of INEC. And to get out of the quagmire will be very difficult, because the law is what it is, and they cannot change it. It is the National Assembly to make law. It is for the INEC to execute it. If what the National Assembly has made as a law for INEC to execute is difficult or impossible to achieve, then it will lead to failure. So this is where we are.
How about the integrity of voters' register? INEC has made the observation that there were concerns over integrity of the National Register because, ahead of the 2027 election, revealing that the Commission had discovered names of prominent politicians in records suspected to contain irregularities, including deceased persons. All of this has to be cleaned up. Do you think anything useful was done in that regard?
Yeah, you see, they don't need to do anything. The Senate has no duty here for now. Why I say so is this. The extant Electoral Act that we have, there is provision for continuous voters registration. In the sense that those who were 14 years, 4 years ago, they are now of voting age, they are now 18 years. That is why that voters registration exercise is a continuous thing that must be done by INEC. The provision of the Electoral Act is to that effect. It has been there. They have made the Senate, they have made provision for that there should be continuous registration so that those who have died, you delete their name from the record. Those who are still alive, of those who are still alive but were not of voting age at that time are now of voting age, their names should enter the National Register. Where the issue is this, I think it may be a bit difficult. Now, it has to be, together, simultaneously. You understand? The manual accreditation on the voters register and the electronic confirmation. So the electronic confirmation and the INEC register, the manual one, they work hand in hand. They are kind of Siamese twins that cannot be separated at any point. So this is where we are. I don't know whether it will be possible sometime in future to do full-time electronic accreditation. We are going there. We are not yet there, but I believe we'll get there one day.
Indeed. Mazi Okorafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests. Sayori, the senators have disappointed Nigerians. Nigerians are very, very annoyed since yesterday that we voted all these senators to the National Assembly to talk for the benefit of the masses. Now they decided to go there and decide what they want their own. But let me just say, the senators are not pushing Nigeria backwards into analog style.
Mazi, give us some instances. Mazi Okorafo, give us some instances of the complaint you are making.
We pick things gradually one by one. That returning of results to that system is what Nigerians are very, very after. But I don't know. The House of Reps approved it. Concord everything, and the senator said to them, you see, that what is keeping Nigeria.
I didn't hear you well. Are you, Mazi? I didn't hear you well. Are you talking about the uploading?
To go and settle down with this money. You go and look for lawyers to go down and defend them. Delay, making the whole result to be very, very, everything to be tense.
Okay, Mazi, are you talking about uploading results? Mazi, can you hear us? Are you talking about the uploading of results? Is that what you're talking about?
No, what I'm talking about is the letter that we are talking about this morning. You see, the National Assembly, we have the Green House and the Red House.
Yes.
The Green House approved that electronic system is acceptable. Everything.
Okay.
But you saw what happened yesterday with the senators.
Well,
that is what everybody is kicking against.
Okay.
Because it's not good for us. Now we know that. Let's take American example. Before Trump came into the office, we have seen the result on the 3rd that Trump is winning. No, but so why is it that Nigeria is coming to a different thing? Everybody, we were so happy that the speed they were using to pass this and is very good. But the night came yesterday that electronic system is something that they have a cross, which is not healthy. Honestly, they should think twice.
Okay.
But if I have my way, all of them that are present that is there, I will put all of them out come 2027. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Well, I was struggling to get what you meant by electronic system not being approved in the Senate, but had been approved in the House of Reps. And Well, you did hear the Senate president say that it's not true that they have struck out anything relating to electronics, especially according to the, what was that word now? The word that we were using in lieu of live. That is not true. You know, that is not true, but that we would find the time when INEC knows it can be done, it will do it. But in the meantime, it will take the records. But what Mazi was saying was that let people know instanta, let them know instanta. But the point has been made that our data is not that robust yet. Our internet supply and all of that is not that robust yet. But I think the Senate president, because you must have heard it as well, is saying that it's here to stay. It will be uploaded. IREV, it is here to stay. It has not been removed, but it's just a matter of real time. That's what I was looking for. This whole matter about real time, which Adara Modu said that sometimes it has connotations of being more of semantics than of anything, that we cannot do, whether you want to call it live, whether you want to call it real time, we cannot actually do it with 100% certitude that we will get the results that we want. And that was the whole conversation around that. But as to whether it has been removed, no, it has not been removed. The Senate President was at pains to sort of underline and explain. So it's just that the American system that Mazi Okorafor was talking about, where everybody is knowing at the same time, we might not quite be there yet. But Mr. Akibolu, it's funny that this is very, very important because people keep on going back there, and it's like we don't want to be misunderstood. The Senate does not want to be misunderstood, but the Senate seems to be doing what is sort of pragmatic. It's one thing if you say by law. Yes. By law, they must do it.
Yeah, you see, the problem is this: when most of us talk because we are not education in this, we are not educated as far as the electoral issues are concerned. We are not enlightened. If you listen to what Senator Adara Modu did a fantastic job trying to inform the public, and he did inform us that this is the position. And when you talk of real time, you see that it's nebulous. And that one is in
the very point Adara
with my own thinking.
The very point that Adara Modu made.
He talked about real time. Now, the real time is this: we are not mature for this for now. And if you look at it very well, they are going to pass it to make it mandatory when the time comes. When electricity has improved, that is what I seem to understand by that. And when we talk of issues like this, and we are talking about America and all that, we have our own type of democracy. America has its own type of democracy. For instance, during Bill Clinton and this person, Bill Clinton was leading with over 3 million votes. But the Electoral College, a few people voted against him. Can we do that in Nigeria? The National Assembly will vote somebody, the entire Nigeria rejected him. So that is their own democracy. This is our own here.
One moment, sir. Let me bring in, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Kingbulu. I beg your pardon. Ibrahim in Mina has been trying to get in on the program. Good morning, Ibrahim in Mina.
Good morning.
Thank you for, go ahead, quickly, please.
Good morning, good morning.
Thank you for calling. Good morning, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead with your comment.
Okay, thank you very much. I think what we are discussing is very important. Important in the sense that we are talking about our election. I don't think whatever method we use, as long as our attitude remains the same, that's where we are going to have a challenge. The issue has always been that election rigging. Whatever method you choose, it is election rigging that we are talking about. Now, how do we prevent it? What is available to us now is not even the technology, because technology can fail us. According to even the Senate, they are telling Nigerians that they can't provide light, the network is bad, and all these things. Of course, the condition. But look at a situation where somebody who participated in rigging election for a candidate and the person who did the rigging was punished. The candidate is still in the Senate. So until there is stringent law that can be complied with, if that law, the area they should look at is the law, money, vote buying and all these things. Forget about technology, we are not yet there, but the area of punishment,
yes.
The area of punishment should be more emphasized than what they have done now.
Okay. I'm sorry to rush you. I got that point that you made. Thank you very much, sir, for calling in. Ibrahim calling in from Mina. We're fast running out of time now, Mr. Akingbolu. What you've said is that, look, this might not be perfection the way everybody wants it, but that will take time. One step after the other, but that we have made substantial increases. At least that's your view.
Exactly. We are costing home. You understand? What the Senate had done, they were empirical, they were pragmatic. They believe it is now a kind of desirability versus availability. What is available to us now is what the Senate has done. In all honesty, I am not, you understand, it's not a matter of, dressing them in borrowed robes. But if they pass it the way Nigerians want them to pass it, the same Nigeria will be the people to come and condemn them and castigate them and roast them. Because the law will not work and will not achieve anything. That is just the truth. What they have done is best for us in the circumstances.
We're going to have to leave it there. I want to thank you very much, constitutional lawyer Kabir Akingbolu, for coming on our program. Really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to leave it here right now. But do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.